Network presents sports for the culture.
I'm here with the family.
Price, XXV, Double I,
Rome,
D-Melo,
Gruff Lion.
T-Boogie, man.
This is the greatest sports show on the planet. La Familia. Hope y'all ready for a ride.
Can't wait to hear what you guys got to say.
What up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome, everybody. Tuning in wherever you're tuning in from. Don't get slapped tonight. It's GoodAssSports for the culture. It's your boy, man. It's Gruff Lion, the host for the evening. Let me go introduce the gang, man. Introduce the gang. We won short. We ain't gonna say no names, but if a fourth person appears, you know who was late. Top right, introduce yourself.
Hey, T-Boogie, man. I don't even got a lot to say this time, man. You know, as always, as you see in the shirt, wash your hands, wash your ass, stay clean, stay safe out there. I'm excited to get into this episode, so you know what I'm saying. Let's go.
Okay, so this whole time I thought they was doing the jump ball, but they're actually washing their hands. Okay,
they're washing their hands. They washing their hands.
Okay, so
is that a Wizard shirt?
It's you know what I'm saying. It's the Wizards.
I forgot. Yeah,
they scrubs, right. But you know, wash your hands.
So DC hand washers, they scrub because they scrub it down in that soap, man. Probably.
They might have won the night for all I know.
No, but they lost. They lost.
They still lost. They lost.
They lost. They definitely lost, the boys.
Yeah, we stopped keeping up with them. You know, remember when they were in like fifth or fourth place, third place?
They were 10-3, and Bryce, you know, was shouting from the rafters, and now you can't even find the guy.
I got more copies of the first 10 days standings than I got of any other 10 days.
Roll the tape, man. He was talking about how great the coach was, the owner. Like, all right, man. It was a joke from day one.
Yeah, man.
Hilarious.
All right. Last but not least, bottom.
It's your boy D-Melo right good. And I don't know, man. I just can't wait to baseball to start, man. That's the only thing I'm excited about right now, man. I can't wait to finally see the Yankees play.
Yeah, honestly, I ain't really gonna lie. I used to throw a lot of shade on baseball season, but this year I'm excited for baseball season. Me and Geraldo gonna go to a Yankees Red Sox game in April. It's gonna be a good experience. We've seen how the state officials didn't hold no grudges against the Yankees like they did against the Brooklyn Nets. But you know how I go.
I'm telling you,
politics, man.
Listen, man. The Nets are who they are, but it's the goddamn Yankees. You thought they were going to do it for Kyrie. They did that shit for the Yankees. Because we all know Judge did not get the vaccine, allegedly. But all I'm saying is this happened because of the Yankees.
Yeah, man. We already know what time it is, man. We already know what time it is. So, look, I want to get into this Will Smith stuff, but I'm going to wait a little bit longer to get into the Will Smith stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because I know everybody won't get into that, I'm saying. Let's go ahead and crank it up with a little recap from the NCAA tournament, man. We had the Final Four coming up. We are down to the Final Four teams at this point now. God bless St. Peter's, man. They had a wonderful run. St. Peter's went down to UNC this past weekend. Not before they won some money for the squad and funded a gas weekend. So appreciate you, St. Peter's. But yeah, St. Peter's is officially out. Before we even move on to the teams that are in the Final Four, I want to talk a little bit about this St. Peter's run and what it really means. You know, the moment that Bryce said in the group chat that, yo, you know, this run is historic, whether they win or not, I knew that they wasn't going to go any further. But you know, let's talk about St. Peter's run, man. A 15 seed that goes all the way to Elite Eight, man. Will we ever see anything like that again? And y'all hear about the parade? They're having a parade for St. Peter's later this week. Is it parade worthy? What are y'all thoughts on the St. Peter's run, man? One last shot for St. Peter's.
Man, the story of the underdogs, man. Legitimately, the reason why we call this March Madness, the reason why we set up brackets and put money, the reason why we even care about this. We get to watch the underdogs do something. It hasn't been seen before, and the fact you get to watch St. Peter's do it is like, yo, you give motivation to other young schools, other schools with a bunch of non-NBA prospects that are now you open the light for them. But technically, that's what we're talking about, right? None of these guys are NBA prospects,
I mean,
let alone They're going to get
Yeah.
recruited to be on teams, right? The most part that some of these guys will probably get, if they're lucky and blessed, is the G League, which congratulations. But at that, this is why you do what you're gonna. This is why the state of New Jersey and St. Peter's are gonna do something for these kids. Give them a parade. This is unheard of. These literally went and played NC and just got destroyed in the first 5 minutes of that game.
So T, why do you think that St. Peter's was able to run through a team like Purdue, but not North Carolina? I know you had your prediction before the North Carolina game that they were going to hit the wall against North Carolina. So what was it about North Carolina that was just so much better than St. Peter's? 20-point plus clip.
I actually think it was a perfect storm. That game, right? You snuck up on Kentucky. I truly believe Kentucky was a better team, but you snuck up on them and you beat them. You knocked them off, right? That Purdue team, man, they play an obsolete style of basketball. Nobody has these big lumbering 7-footers that can't get up and down the court anymore. I mean, to prove that point down the stretch, right? They're big guys, about 7'3" or something. He was huge. They took him out of the game last 3-4 minutes. He couldn't even stay on the floor. So then, first you sneak up on the team, then you get a favorable matchup. I thought Purdue should have matched it up, but North Carolina was really coming off of that Duke game. North Carolina's playing really inspired basketball. And then you have Baycott, Caleb Love. You have guys that were 4-star, 5-star recruits in high school and trying to get to the NBA, and they're not even on mock drafts. I'm looking at mock drafts like I don't see Love, I don't see Baycott. These guys are playing with a chip on their shoulder. And then you throw them in front of, let's just be real, some one single-star, no-star recruits. Just a perfect storm. Carolina was really hot and they were able to match up. Carolina isn't a big lumbering team. They have bigs that can move a little bit. So bad matchup. But shout out to St. Peter's, man. One thing I do love about St. Peter's, right, and about the NCAA basketball period versus football, you will never see a St. Peter's football team beat Alabama. You will never see a St. Peter's beat Oregon, right? But in basketball, if 5 guys bond, if 10 guys, you know what I'm saying, they bond, they grow together, they buy into the system and they make their shots and things go, fall right for them, they can upset some of the bigger names. And that's some part of the magic of the NCAA tournament, man. So we really got to watch March Madness and the magic of the madness.
So I got a question, right? Is it easier for a college basketball recruit to get on a team like St. Peter's with bad grades compared to going like somewhere Alabama and trying to play?
Yes and no, right? Because if you're super talented, man, they'll bend the rules, have guys take tests for you, things like that. You know what I'm saying? So the 5-star
The
guys,
D-Rose? Like
it's more than D Rose. 5-star guys are going to land
but D-Rose
where they're supposed to land outside of like
Okay.
getting chicks pregnant and crimes. But just as far as bad grades, now if you're like a 3-4-star guy, you will land at a St. Peter's or a D2 or a JUCO. So some of those small schools do get really talented guys. But I didn't see any pros on that St. Peter's team, just to be perfectly honest with you. But what I saw was a bunch of guys that didn't back down, like the coach said, man. I think what they did was represent really well for the tri-state area, who is truly a basketball area. And sometimes they get overlooked. The Midwest, the DMV, North Carolina, other basketball hotbeds, kind of always like, New York, whatever. They got a bunch of dribbling guards, but I thought they did their thing, man. They represented. They were scrappy. They embodied what you would think of when you see New York, New Jersey. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta give props out to the coach. You gotta give props out to the recruiting, and that goes down to the coach as well. I mean, we talk about some of these players, man. I'm probably gonna butcher the guy's name, but the guard's name, I think it was Eckerd, the 2 guard, with the white boy, 25.
Yep.
He's a dog. He's a dog. Like Ron Harper Jr. is obviously a little bit more of a popular name, you know what I'm saying, in the state of New Jersey, but Ron Harper Jr. know very well who that boy is. You know what I'm saying? They went head-to-head in many high school matchups. So shout out to St. Peter's for paying attention, making the right recruits and everything like that. They had them two dudes down low. I don't know if they was African or what. You know
they
what I'm saying?
Twins.
Them boys was crazy. Them boys was hustling. It was the hardest soul of St. Peter's, bro, because like when you're in the same situation like that and you're going up against a big, It's funny because like we talk about Big Ten being prone to upsets, big bigs like that. Yao Ming's stature kind of big. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? But a guy that's just kind of getting up in your back shoulder blade. You know what I mean? What you gonna do about that? And they had a lot of offensive rebounds that were huge for them in that game. That Carolina game, they was up against too much firepower, but the St. Peter's run was something special. It's a little bittersweet the way everything ended, and I am happy for Coach Shaheem Holloway. He accepted the job with Seton Hall, which is his alma mater. I don't know if it was Bryce that called it, or somebody told me that he was going to have the job with Seton Hall, and here it is. But I just kind of wish they would have waited till the bus took off before they dropped the news. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like, I don't know. I ain't saying he got bought out or whatever, but like, it just hurts a little bit when you got to take the L, the bittersweet L with the promotion, because it's like, that's what I said when I seen this whole thing. I was happy for St. Peter's and I was happy for Shaheem Holloway, but I knew very well that the success of St. Peter's meant that Shaheem Holloway was going to be off to another program very soon and having very, very, very soon. But Seton Hall's no like Duke or anything like that. Even if he made Seton Hall relevant, I would be very happy for Shaheem Holloway still. But shout out to St. Peter's and
Seton Hall still play for the Big East, right?
I think they're in a conference. Yeah, I think that's on.
Yeah,
Seton Hall really hasn't been, dominant in a while.
They've been in the mix though. Shout out Miles Powell. They were in the tournament a couple years ago.
But everything I heard about that St. Peter's job, right? And just to piggyback on what you were saying, you don't take a job at St. Peter's to stay at St. Peter's. That's just the truth of it, right? And honestly, as a basketball player, you don't enroll at St. Peter's to play basketball hoping to finish at St. Peter's, right? Everyone's trying to get to that big time D1 power conference. So I respect it. But from what I heard, that St. Peter's school was like the worst school in that conference. And that was the worst job in that conference. And the school has less than 3,000 people. My high school had more than 3,000 people. So,
yeah, it's a very small school. Jersey City, if y'all familiar with Jersey City, it's right over the bridge from New York City. So it's a growing community. It's very popping now. But like St. Peter's is a very, 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 very small section of Jersey City. It doesn't take up a lot of space at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could probably throw a football across the whole campus if you got a good arm.
I had never heard of it. So, shout out to them. They put their team on the map, put their city on the map, all that.
Yeah, man. Shout out to St. Peter's, man. Want to give one last time out to St. Pete's, man. And we gonna close that off. Now we enter the Final Four, man. And we got the big dogs. We had a tournament that was full of Cinderellas, full of upsets, full of parity. But here we are with some of the most powerhouse programs that have ever played in the land. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Duke versus North Carolina, man. We talk about Duke versus North Carolina, one of the greatest rivalries in sports, man. I had to really think about this for a minute. And I don't know if there's any other rivalry that's quite like Duke, North Carolina, because we got two teams that are North Carolina based that are both powerhouse programs. And I was just trying to think if there's any other school that's similar to that. And the only thing I could think of close was like Auburn and like,
Alabama.
Yeah, those type of schools. But like this North Carolina Duke rivalry is very close, very, very, very intense. Now, obviously, we know the rivalry over the years, all the legends. This is Coach K's final run. And the last time they played UNC gave them the business. So I'm curious to see what y'all think about this matchup right here. T, I know you was on the UNC side for the last game. Are you still rolling with UNC against Duke and Coach K and them boys?
Man, look, I'm a UNC fan, so I'm a little bit biased here. But Duke blew that last matchup. You know what I'm saying? Duke was up. Duke kind of just fell to pieces, and I don't really expect a Coach K team to fall apart in the Final Four. But with that being said, we got another matchup of guaranteed pros. Blanchero and those guys are going pro, and Baycott and Love and those guys, Davis, are kind of on the cusp. So it's like a chip on their shoulder versus guys that feel like you probably shouldn't even be on the same floor as me. And I think Duke has a lot to prove. Also, man, if you buy the story, I think you think this thing goes to Duke. And I just see the story, like it's almost like they're shooting a documentary for Coach K. You know what I'm saying? He takes that tough loss in the ACC tournament. to Duke, and then he gets the redemption in the Final Four, and he wins the championship. It almost seems like they're writing a narrative. I think Carolina's talented enough to win this game, but I think if both teams play at their best, Duke comes out on top.
It's funny you talk about the narrative. And I agree with that. It's all about the narrative, and that's part of the reason why Bryce said he wanted to do. He saw Duke going far because the narrative, Coach K being his last tournament. I agree. It does make a lot of sense though, because they just did lose to them. Now they kind of get the rebound. You know what I'm saying, against them. Okay, we'll see. T man, honestly, you're a little biased in the situation. So G, you predicted that Duke would lose by 4 points or some shit like that last game, right? So that didn't work out well for you. So
they only won by what? By 5? Boo hoo. Boo.
All right, so what is the gambler instinct about Duke?
I'm not even gonna bet because I don't want the Dukies to win. I'm riding on the Tar Heels wave on this one, man. I like them to be the Cinderella Slayers, man. Look what they just did to St. Peter's. And now why not kill Coach K before he goes home? Kill the old prick. Destroy him. I love the bad guy story. I enjoy that shit. I'm marble in it. Like, what did Cartman say when he killed that boy's parents? I want to lick the tears off your face. I want to see that. I want to see that kind of shit. I like the bad guy story in this right now. Coach K does not deserve to win March Madness on his last trip. Fuck all of that. Go there, Tar Heels, and destroy that man's dream. Give him the last bit of streak. You beat him on his last home game. Why not beat him on his last tournament match? Do that. Give me that satisfaction. That would be the greatest ending to any rivalry. And the fact this is the first time these teams see each other in any elite, right? In the whole tournament, this is the first time they get to see each other, right?
In the Final Four, yeah.
In the Final Four, who doesn't want to see this? In the Final Four, you kill them and you set them off. It'll be the greatest. That would be those kids in the Tar Heels Stadium are gonna go nuts.
Man, this game you're gonna see everybody coming out, man. You got to think these are they're blue bloods. Imagine how many pros have come from Duke. How many pros have come from Carolina? Jordan, Worthy, Perkins, Jamison, Vince Carter. Like the names are crazy. Everybody's gonna be in this game. You know what I'm saying? Could be Coach K's last game. As a basketball fan, it's like you got to move everything and anything to watch this game. Like you can't miss this one.
The fact is, this is like 8 o'clock. 8:50 game. Oh man,
yeah, it's a late.
It's definitely. We talk about me and G's talk about going to the Yankees versus the Red Sox. I say, honestly, the Duke versus UNC, we talk about bucket list sports games. Like, this got to be one of the all-time bucket list sports games, especially in the tournament. Coach K's last game, this is the bucket of the buckets. This is the top bucket of the bucket list. Like, if you want to go to a Duke, North Carolina game, go to this one. I don't know where this one's at. I don't know. Honestly,
you're right.
People sleeping on these tournament games is good because I didn't realize that St. Peter's game against Purdue was actually in Philly. Like I could have been there. Like, I don't even know what I was thinking. I didn't look into all that, but this Duke versus North Carolina game, I don't know where it's at. But this is iconic.
New Orleans.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Y'all trying to do Cajun this weekend? What's up?
Man, gumbo. Man, you know how much that ticket is going to cost?
Matter of fact, hold on, let me look at it right now.
It's got to be sold out. You know what I'm saying?
We're not going to wait for that. That's going to be stupid. Honestly, I was talking to somebody this weekend, and they were talking about how they didn't like to go to concerts. And they were like, yeah, I bought this ticket for this concert. I wanted to go, but then, I sold it for twice as much as I bought it for. And I was like, you know what? I'm not really mad at that. So, hey, G, if you do see it, you want to resell it, I ain't even going to be mad at you. So on the other side of the bracket, man, what we got? What was it? Kansas and Villanova, right?
Villanova, yeah.
Villanova, yeah, okay. Villanova. Yo, shout out Villanova, man. I was actually at a housewarming party this weekend. Shout out my homegirl Doreen. She's got a crib out in Maryland. But man, people I went to high school with, man, they know me very well. And they was like, yo, your squad's on. And I looked, and it was Villanova. And I was like, yo, Villanova not really my squad no more, but maybe they should be. Because, man, Villanova, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I was a big fan of Villanova back in the day when they had Randy Foy, Allen Ray, Kyle Lowry, that era.
Oh
That was
man,
like before they were champions. You know, I don't know what
three
it is.
guards.
When they started winning championships, I just stopped liking them. But like, it is what it is. But Villanova, here they are again. You know what I'm saying? In the Final Four. I don't know what it is about Villanova, but they always seem to just kind of just give you just enough of a cushion. It's just like they have like a very short, stiff arm up the whole entire game. Just keeps teams away. And, they end up maintaining their lead. And they did that against Houston very well so. And they were underdog in that game as well. Kansas, obviously blue blood talent, you know what I'm saying? They got a lot of good talent across the board in Kansas. But one of the big-time performers for Kansas this year is a transfer from Arizona State, Remy Martin. Shout out Remy Martin. Shout out the brand as well. But Remy Martin out here getting very schwavy, if you will. Making big time plays. He's actually a dude that comes off the bench and is just really a microwave scorer for Kansas. So we got Kansas, Villanova. Who's y'all pick between these two powerhouses? G, I'm gonna start with you.
Give me Kansas. Kansas has been legit. They've been to a Final Four for like 18 years straight, something like that.
Yeah,
For 18 years. To Elite Eight, I take Kansas in this one. They're the number one team. They've been playing legitimately like the only number one team in this whole conference, in this whole tournament.
That stat you just threw out me, I don't think that's possibly true. 18 years straight?
Something like that. They've been in the Elite Eight for 18 years straight.
I could see them being in the Sweet 16 or the tourney, but not nobody's gone.
They ain't all that now. Come on now.
Nah. But Kansas has had consistently good teams for a long time. So
and for tickets, y'all want to see tickets to the Deuce game?
700.
7,000, yep. 7,000 or
7,000.
Yeah.
7,000 to $10,000. Just imagine floor seats. Floor seats are probably going for like at least 20.
That's for the nosebleeds?
Nosebleeds are like 250.
250?
And I'm talking about 250 and all the way in the back, like,
that's cool just to be there.
That's not that bad.
That's just to be in the building.
What you talking about for 10K? What's 10K? Courtside?
No, 10K will get you like the one of the rows, but like the second row.
Okay.
No, like the second level, like you're not even
second level.
Yeah, like
like they gotta shoot the t-shirt cannon up to you.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody give me the footage of that chick that tosses the t-shirts, man.
With the arm. Yeah.
Yeah. She'll get me up there.
But man, I know I don't bet against like Villanova, man. Like Jay Wright is an amazing coach, and when they start talking about like greatest college coaches, he kind of gets overlooked a little bit. But like Jay Wright has it. He's won a national championship. You know what I'm saying? He's had those teams. I was gonna say he's put guys pro. I mean, he knocked off Mike Tar Heels with Josh Hart, Chris Jenkins, and Jalen Brunson. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not picking against Jay Wright. I think Villanova gets this one in an upset, and if Villanova makes it to the championship, they have the potential to beat Duke. I mean, either way you look at it, you know what I'm saying? No matter how this comes down, we get a good championship.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you get Duke or North Carolina in the championship. You get Kansas or Villanova. It's like a basketball nerds like fan.
Yes,
you're right.
Legitimately.
You're right though. You don't bet against Villanova. When I had a game, I had a split. I had two parlays a couple days ago. You know what I'm saying? When Houston played Villanova, I was torn up. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what side to go on. I had one parlay with Villanova. I had one with Houston. Luckily, I hit it because I had hit the one with Villanova. I mean, Villanova did not steer me wrong. I ain't touched the game that they were underdogs, but I should have because it's Villanova, man. They always gonna give you that little cushion at the end. So
they're gonna fight, man. They're gonna fight.
I got Villanova going and advancing in this one, and I think it's gonna be Duke versus Villanova down the stretch. So I mean, we will see. What ultimately ends up happening. It's been very interesting, man. It's been very interesting. So, I mean, March Madness has been great, but, I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm going to start watching award shows, After yesterday, I got some friends that are really plugged into the award show. Shout out my homegirl, Ariel. She was like, yo, man, She was talking about a big sports documentary that won it. You know what I'm saying, about the first chick that was ever drafted to the NBA, which is a really dope story. And then she's telling me about Will Smith getting slapped. But it wasn't until the next day that I realized the magnitude of him getting slapped. Oh no, not Will Smith getting slapped. Will Smith actually slapped Chris Rock. Right, my bad. Let me get it right. So this was pretty crazy, bro. And I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Like I got a lot of things in common with Will Smith, and I've been reading his book. So when I seen him slap Chris Rock, I was like, I wanted the play-by-play. You know what I'm saying? Like,
your girl got a bald head?
Who? Huh?
My
girl got a bald head?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what you had in common.
We got a lot of shit in common. I done slapped the shit out of motherfuckers a few times too, bro.
That's
no shit.
Pardon me.
Pardon me, a pimp named Slickback.
I ain't gonna lie, that's a hell of a night, bro. That's a hell of a night, man. It's a hell of a night. But yo, let me run the tape on Will Smith, man. Let me show you how his night went. It's crazy because yesterday, actually, I watched King Richard for the first time in the morning. I watched King Richard, and then I've heard the news, so I'm like, he had a busy day. So let's go ahead and run the tape on Will Smith.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane jump.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
All right. So first off, everybody's seen that happen, right? And honestly, everybody in the crowd was trying to figure out what exactly just happened, all right? So I know I've seen people on the internet talking about it was staged, people saying it was real. I got my opinion. I want to hear yours. So first question is, was it staged or was it fake? I know, was it staged or was it real? T, I want to hear from you first.
It was real.
Okay.
It was real. I definitely think it was real. I mean, it's entertainment and you never know. Actually, my mother-in-law pointed out that he had his publicist there with him. She thought that was kind of odd. And when I thought about it, like, yeah, that is kind of odd. Like, why is your publicist at the award show with you? You know what I mean? Like, how'd your publicist get a ticket? But I guess, it's the Oscars. Who knows? But I thought it was real. But I can see why people thought it was staged.
He got a lot of promo right now. I mean, I seen more stuff on the internet about this in the last couple of days than I've seen about anything. So, like, I seen people with still shots of him, and they show Chris Rock. I seen Chris Rock after he was getting popped with the fist. Like, you know what I mean? He had the fist ready. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was about to swing back. Then
the Arthur fist.
Then I also seen another still shot, and I don't know what's superimposed and what's not, but I also seen another still shot where he was smiling right before he got smacked. And I got another one where he was smiling right after he got smacked, and Will was smiling walking off. So that looked a little suspect. Then I seen another joint where Chris Rock had a pad on his face, so I don't even know. But people with the conspiracy theories, the conspiracy theorism is real. So
that man got smacked silly. That's what that smile was.
Gee, real or fake, man? Real or fake?
I'm gonna go with Ravel because I don't think you make this much a commotion about his mistake. Let alone like when Will goes, you see videos of a couple actors go to him like, yo, try to calm him down, like Denzel and whatnot. I'm like, oh, all right, like this shit can't be fake. Like his reaction, he's like, oh shit, Richard. He don't even call him Will, he calls him Richard. He's like, oh shit, he's done. Like he's like, oh, what the fuck? It was a joke. You know what I mean? Like, he literally said it was just a joke.
Yeah.
The fact,
So now the thing is, I mean, like I don't know if everybody know the story or not. With so Jada been losing her hair because she has alopecia. It's a condition of saying about makes you lose your hair. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Chris Rock knew about that prior to him making that joke. I heard word on the street is that Will Smith asked him not to tell the joke, and he told it anyway. I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, either way, it was pretty craziness across the board. I don't know, man. Overall, I think it was real. Honestly, I know it was real because I read Will Smith's book. And I know a lot about Will Smith. And I'm saying, like, we got a lot of common in the sense that, like, you know what I'm saying? I understand from an astrological standpoint, my guy Libra, your life path 22, that's a very challenging path to walk, my brother. I understand, bro. I be wanting to slap the shit out of people too, bro. I'm serious, bro. So when he gave his speech at the end, that's how I knew that we had a lot in common. And I also knew that he actually really slapped him. Because, like, I've been there, bro. And people was trying to come at him. Like, I feel it. Like, if you slap somebody and you cry in the same award show, like, questionably so. Like, people are going to question you. But, like, I really understand what he was going through. Because he was like, yo, bro. Like, I be getting tested, bro. Seems like Will Smith's been getting tested a lot. So, my opinion is, when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, he ain't just slapped Chris Rock. He slapped everybody. Like, everybody's been disrespecting him all year. Like, he can't slap all of y'all. He can't slap all y'all. He can't slap all y'all in your group chats. He can't slap all y'all on Twitter. Y'all trolls. Trolling this man. Everybody been making them Tupac jokes. God damn it. He's tired of that shit. He's tired of that shit, man. And he said, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. And it's funny because he laughed at first. People talking about he went up. You've seen Jada's reaction. He got up. He stood up. Then he slapped the man. Either way, bro, it was wild. But yeah, he actually had some. Chris Rock actually has some history with Jada back in the day. He'd been trying Jada from prior. It's like my man B said. You know what I'm saying? So he has some history already. You know what I'm saying? My man came up and smacked the you know what I mean? But he handled it like a pro. So continuing on with that, with the Will Smith. Well, Lupita really just kind of just captures the moment. Like, her eyes and her expression pretty much is exactly how I feel in any type of altercation moment like that. And you see him turning it up. And then, obviously, when we see Will get violent, we thinking about Tupac, obviously. Tupac would have retaliated, and Will did too. So, I'm sure he might have got some good gangster loving after the end of that one. But honestly, that's how my weekend was this weekend as well, bro. I feel you, Will. You know what I'm saying? Chris, that's how I felt this morning too, bro. You know what I'm saying? I had to get back to work after a long weekend. And, Monday slapped the shit out of me too. Actually, it slapped me so hard that today's actually Tuesday. And I'm still talking about how it slapped me. So, that's another good one. And another classic right here. Really, just the way that man slapped it, it did seem kind of perfect because it was just like so well staged. This man had the classic Batman slap. And honestly, I wish this meme had a sound effect because, that was very, very well played the whole night. Everybody does hate Chris at the end of that one. But what an iconic night, man, honestly, for Will Smith, because he ended up finishing up getting the Oscar for Best Actor after he slapped some man 15 minutes later. So my question, again, continuing on with the Will Smith and Chris Rock, who took the bigger L of the night? Was it Will Smith or was it Chris Rock? I think it's pretty obvious, but let's see. G, what you think?
I think Will Smith took the biggest L.
Oh. Okay,
I think he basically showed his ass to the public. Like, he could have went around that situation a little bit better. Come on, we all went to comedy shows before. Comedians are always gonna brag, talk crazy, say something funny about whoever's in the front. You know what I mean? And on top of that, what we really saw in live TV was black on black crime, bro. If you're gonna break it down to the science, like, that's what we got to see. And my man showed like we as of late, right? We all been saying that, let's empower each other, especially us minorities. And like the fact he did that, and the fact that Chris Rock held his composure after that shit, because that's why I said, like, Chris Rock is the biggest dub out of all of this, because my man could have bugged the fuck out. Me and my hot temper, when I want to, bro, I would have bugged the fuck out. I would have been like, nah, my boy, get back over here, bro. I don't give a fuck about none of this shit. My man, as a man, held his composure. Like, my man said, nah, fuck all this shit. Like, my man said, all right, I'm going to take that lick. And then look at Chris Rock now. He's selling out his whole comedy tour right now. Like, people are buying. So, like, Chris Rock takes the dub. Will Smith is taking out because I look at Will Smith. He's doing a whole apology tour. Like my man looked like a whole fool. Like you did that for what then? Like that's why I say in my mind, like yo, I don't like to hear apologies after people do certain shit because like, is it really sincere or are you just doing this to cover your tracks at this point? Because you did it with the full intentions of of whatever reaction you thought you were gonna get. And the fact that, like I said, like my man literally showed his ass to the world and something he didn't have to do. Like now Will Smith is a thug out of nowhere. Like, come on, man. This is the reason why we love Will Smith because he was a genuine dude. Like he was. You see him on Instagram, always trying to be positive, and out of nowhere, my man just says, "Nah, fuck all that. I'm from South Philly or West Philly, wherever part of Philly my man's from."
West Philadelphia, born and raised.
West Philadelphia, born and raised. Like my man just bugged out. Like, come on, my man. This whole time, the reason why we love Will is because his approach in life was a lot different than what the mentality that we're taught at a young age, where it's just like you meet aggression with aggression. You gotta be a violent person. Where it's just like the reason why we love Will because he showed us that's not what we need to do in life. But my man went ahead and showed his ass for what? You could easily went backstage and made him come back out and apologize, and that would have been a bigger thing. We would have applauded both of them on that end. Like my bad, and it's like, come on, like it's not like we ever heard wild stories. How many times have we heard Whitney Houston crackhead jokes in front of Bobby Brown? And my man he never retaliated on nobody. He got upset. But my man would never retaliate on nobody. We have heard wild jokes before, and all of a sudden, I get it. A woman is going bald, and I get it. By all means, it is what it is. But yo, my man could have went a bigger way about it and made it even bigger. And instead, now we're not even talking about him winning the Oscar. We're talking about him slapping another black man on live TV. And then like if you break it down, like I said, like now we have to understand like why white America views the way they view us now. You know what I mean? Do we not care enough to have some kind of decent respect, like where we could just talk it out? But I'm gonna let T go from here on out because I could go deeper.
Nah, like
I mean, go
I
ahead, T.
agree. I agree with a lot of points you made. I've heard social media is lit up with this stuff, right? This is all we've seen since the event, right? But my personal take on it is Will justified? I tweeted this. Is Will justified in smacking him? Yeah, like anytime you interact with another man's wife in any form, like there's a realistic threat or risk of violence. You know what I'm saying? It could go left. So he obviously told a joke. We can debate if it was funny or not, if it was lowbrow or not, but obviously Jada didn't approve. And Will decided to act upon it and he smacked him. Well, I think he was justified, sure. But being justified doesn't make it the right action. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes doing what's best isn't what's best, if that makes sense. Like G said, I'm with G. You should have went backstage and talked to this guy. Like it's almost like certain places, right? And that's the Oscars. Let's not play around. The Oscars is a white stage for a white audience, right? But certain places require certain decorum. I don't care what color you are. You don't smack a guy in church. You know what I mean? Like you certain places you just don't do certain things. And to walk up there and smack him, I thought that was a little over the top. Escalating to violence in a non-violent situation, you're always the problem. Like I don't care how you slice it. You are the issue. And that's what he did. So, a lot of people have said Will was defending his wife. Defending him from what? He still got the joke off, right? No matter what, the joke was told. What did he defend? A second joke? I don't know. I don't see that as defending his wife. I feel like he picked the easy target. I feel like if that was any other comedian, he's not smacking Mike Epps. He's not smacking Dave Chappelle. He's not smacking Cat Williams. And I think if he smacks Dave Chappelle, right, we have a different reaction. I see a lot of people, they just like Will Smith better than they like Chris Rock, so they're going to lean Will. But, two men handled the situation the way they handled it. I don't really respect Will's approach to this with violence. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't scream, stop the violence, and then champion Will's behavior. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, perfectly frank, I don't think Will Smith would support his behavior himself. You know what I mean?
Well, right.
I mean,
And
he did it though.
he
So
had a
how
human.
doesn't he support it?
I mean, he had a
I
human
mean,
moment up there.
he can't. He know
Yeah.
exactly. I think that's what he said, and that's what that's what echoed across everything that was said after the fact. Was like, yo, he said, you know what I'm saying, the devil gonna get to you in your realest moments. So like, he really let all this shit get to him, and he's been through a lot. Like what I said earlier, he been through a lot this year. Like, you know, he had to deal with all this shit about the news coming out about his girl messing, you know, his little entanglement. Her little entanglement
Look,
coming out and all that. And
he's
everybody was
putting
talking
him.
shit about him then. And
Hey,
hold up. G was talking about how the fact that everybody think it's cool and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we expect him not to react that way. But that's the exact reason why he did react that way. Because he's tired of this shit, man.
Scrap. What did we talk about before the show? About you being the catalyst in your own issues. They choose Will and Jada. Now, if you know me, if you ever heard me talk about Will and Jada way before this incident, I personally feel like they get on TV and they do a bunch of lying. I feel like they say a bunch of BS. It's clout chasey. I don't like it. Will and Jada as a tandem, that red table talk and all that. When they're a tandem, I think they do a bunch of lying. Individually, they're probably great people, but when they come together for views and clicks, like it's nasty. But we talked about that Scruff. Like they put their business out to the world. How do we know about an entanglement if they don't talk about it? You know what I'm saying? They move through the world this way, and then and then if you're telling me that Will's reacting to a situation that they stirred up, like, come on, man, that's not fair to Chris Rock either. He's a comedian. He was literally doing his job. Now, did he cross the line? Sure, but again, man, in real life, smacking a man smacking a man can lead to death. So don't you guys get any clever ideas out there defending your wife's honor? You know what I'm saying? And smacking a guy for road rage or perceived disrespect, because if somebody kills you, she's going to be sleeping with another man sooner or later, regardless. So,
My
chill
thing
out.
is this. I know Chris Rock is a stand-up comedian and whatnot, and I know Will Smith is, you know, an actor and all that. You know what I'm saying? But yo, here's my thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, you already kind of know, if you had the award shows, you already know who's about to win what awards before the joint start, right? You know what I'm saying? So like, if you really a friend of Will Smith, like, you know, like, why I'm saying, why he already been, you know, why you gotta be trying to crack on the man, bro? Go crack on somebody else tonight, all right? Like, this is supposed to be Will Smith's big night, you know what I mean? I'm not saying he's not immune to that shit, but I'm saying this though, like, I'm not justifying what he did either. But what I'm saying is this, yo, we all human this shit, right? Like, so in that moment, like, he been going through a lot this year, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. If I was in that moment, I might not react that way. You could say he could have reacted that way. He would have probably chose to react differently, and he admitted it so.
Scruff. He made a movies award. He made a movies reference at a movies award show. It wasn't like he sat there and just started talking about her, calling her, Caillou or something. Like
Yo, bugged out. Anything
yeah,
crazy, right?
like it
Like my
wasn't
man
like
just said it.
he didn't go as hard as he could. And I think he started to. In that clip, right? I think he started to and was like, you know what, never mind. You know what I'm saying? His face is probably still sizzling. Like he said, you know what, never mind. But I can't champion Will's behavior. I feel like that's the type of energy I see guys amazingly, right? A large amount of guys amazingly emotionally react to men that they can beat up. You know what I'm saying? Men that they know won't fight back. So smaller guys or meeker guys, and women. I never see these emotional outbursts towards tough guys. You're not like I thought it was lame, bro. Back Scruff,
Bro,
we from an era where we told jokes, right? If you told a
your
joke,
mama jokes.
you're
Like, you're
right.
not
If you
fighting your
told a
man for
joke,
your mama
if
joke.
you told a joke, right, and the other person got mad and wanted to fight, didn't that kind of mean they were the issue? Like they couldn't handle the situation?
Maybe, maybe not. But honestly, like the way, if somebody crossed the line, like you decided it was crossed the line, and you decided to take it in your own hand, that's really your own personal decision right in that moment. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true.
And I'm not championing his behavior because he didn't champion his own behavior. He actually came out right away and apologized for this shit. And he admitted that he was wrong. But what I can say is that knowing knowing this man's story, knowing what he's been through, I'm actually clapping for Will Smith in this situation because you know what I'm saying? His whole book was talking about him being like, him having to like kind of go with a laugh to avoid conflict. And he was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not taking a laugh. I'm choosing conflict here. Like that laugh was unacceptable. It was. I'm drawing a line here. You want to be slapping. And yeah, T, I understand. And G, I understand what you're talking about decorum at an award show, and what I'm saying, being a black actor and a minority in the academy, and it's disgraceful or whatever. And I even heard talks.
I'm not even talking about.
They talking about him taking his award or whatever from him. Like, nah, I don't care about none of that, bro. Like, I do forgive him for what happened. I understand what happened. I don't champion his behavior, but I do overlook it. I do understand. I think he had a very human moment, and somebody that understands him from all levels. I read his book. Like I said, I forgive him for that moment. I'm not championing his behavior.
So he gets a pass. He gets a pass for
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Bro.
Did y'all not elect the man that said grab him in the pussy, grab the deep?
I didn't elect
I didn't vote for him.
He was still y'all president, man. I don't give a damn. And y'all
He was our president.
How many passes does Sleepy Joe get? I'm done with this shit, man. So many passes, so many times, bro. Will Smith is not for me.
I'm not condemning Will Smith. I'll watch his movies. You know what I'm saying? My relationship with Will Smith will be the same. You know what I'm saying? If he makes a good movie, I'll watch it. If he doesn't, then he doesn't. But at the same time, like, there's a lot of people, and I think that's the downside. Like G was saying, bro, Will Smith has kind of been like a role model, right? We don't have in the minority community, period, right? We don't have a lot of what I would call black royalty, right? You know what I'm saying? You've seen Kennedys, you've seen Kardashians, you've even seen Hiltons. We don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Well, we got LeBron's family,
Obamas.
The Obamas.
Even though, I'm gonna tell you the truth.
And you don't really get too much of that. Like, come on, the whole thing about this, bro. If you break it down to a science, and barely that, my man got beat up in the elevator. But what I'm trying to say, if you break it down, bro, think about it like this, bro. If these two people can't get along for a split second, can you picture what white America thinks about us?
I don't even care what white America thinks about us.
But think about it like that, in a sense, like, yeah, we might not care, but like, you see why they act the way they act towards us because of this kind of stuff?
Look, Martin Luther King got shot in the suit. White America, if they're going to feel how they were going to feel, like,
regardless, right?
That you're not changing their mind. But this is how I think of it, Scruff. If you have a kid, right, or you got a little cousin or a little sister or something, they go to school and they say something and it's disrespectful, and the other person smacks them, is that okay? You know what I'm saying? Is that acceptable behavior? Is that anything you want to teach your kids? Like, like, hey, somebody said something to offend you. Your first option is to slap them?
Yeah, I'm gonna teach my kids to close their fist.
What? No.
Like, look, look, check this out. I come from.
You're making a joke out of this, but it's the truth, though, bro. This is the goddamn truth. Like, you don't want that.
No, I'm not mad at that, right? I come from an era where that's how that went, right? Saying the wrong thing could lead to consequences. So if that's how you choose to live, and you can stand on that, then I don't have consequences. I don't have an issue with it. The issue is when it goes the opposite way, when you're crying, when you're complaining, when you're saying, "Oh, this shouldn't happen. This violence is so senseless. How could this 15-year-old shoot this 13-year-old?" He felt disrespected. He shot him. Like, that's how. If you stand on it, you stand on it. Like, but for most of the world, I would assume that escalating a situation of violence that was not a violent encounter, you got to take the L. Like, that's your fault. Like, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, because look at him now. He's apologizing. He's literally apologizing.
And then you're apologizing to the academy and all of that, bro. And that's
stand on business.
Stand on it, man.
Stand on business. You want to talk about standing on business? Okay, fine.
If you're gonna smack somebody, stand on it.
Yeah. I could agree with y'all and some aspects of what y'all saying, but the bottom line is y'all want to stand on business. Stand on this, all right? Stand on the fact that, guess what? I went to work today and my manager was telling me how everybody in his block on Queens is running around playing Will Smith music. So his streams is up today. I will tell you that I was talking to one of my close friends today.
Who is listening to Will Smith?
Who listening to Men in Black and getting jiggy with it?
People driving through Queens today. The people driving through Queens, New York today are playing Will Smith. So his streams were up today. I will tell you that I talked to a couple of my friends about this job today. I will tell you that I say, yo, La 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 by Will Smith, La La La. I'm actually watching King Richard right now, they said. So his streams on the movie went up. All right, guess what? I actually watched the interview today from Jada Smith today. So, like, you know what I'm saying?
From
All this
Jaden Smith.
Jada, not Jada.
Oh, Jada. All right, all right.
Don't disrespect me, all right?
What to say?
I'm like,
I watched the interview from Jada today. Jada be having some real shit to say sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is, all this, even though it's like you could say it's I guess you could say it's a little bit toxic. You know what I'm saying? But the truth is, this is good for business. You know what I'm saying?
Jada is the problem. Like,
Jada's the problem.
I just saw Jada. Jada just had a interview or something not too long ago saying she didn't care what people thought about her hair. Like, I hate when adults say I don't care because I know from personal experience that means they absolutely do care. They absolutely 1,000. When an adult says I don't care, now when a kid tells you I don't care, they probably don't care. But when an adult says it, they absolutely do care.
I mean, seeing Jada, the problem ain't nothing surprising, bro. We know how Adam and Eve's story went, bro. It was a downfall of a man was a woman.
Oh my God, I'm not even going down that rabbit hole.
I mean, and that's bad for me, right? And I'm not saying Jada can account for how a man goes about, you know what I'm saying, his business. And honestly, I don't even think it's a woman's place to judge how men interact the same way. It's not really a man's place to judge how women interact. But if it's me, right, and it's my way, I would kind of hope that her knowing me, see me lose it, kind of grab me and say, nah, not right now. Like, address it later.
I would hope that too, to be honest. But like, I don't know if that's the relationship they have.
No, some people. I was gonna say some people want the wife that's gonna say, "Let's jump them." You know what I'm saying? It's a preference thing. But I do feel like I do feel like overall, right? I personally don't believe in stealing other people's shine and stealing other people's moment. And now everybody that won an Oscar on that night, right? Their moment is tied to Will and Jada. You know what I'm saying?
But also Will Smith's moment is fucked up because of the whole situation.
That doesn't matter, right? He did that to himself. But he hijacked the moment from other people, man. And I thought that was really unfair. I don't care if it's white, black, in between. Like, other people had something that they worked their whole life to achieve, and they get there. And now, when you could be talking about, how hard you worked, or, you know what I'm saying, maybe even your next project, everybody's asking you, what did you think about Will and Jada? Like, I thought it was just a bad spot to really emotionally respond, man. Those type of emotional responses in real life lead to real violence and real death.
Real life, real violence, real death. The real facts are in this situation is that they live in Hollywood. So the facts are that what they did was actually going to generate more money. I feel Hansel what he was saying.
No, they are going to generate more money.
No, I'm gonna speak to Hansel. He's
Will Smith could play a villain now.
He could have played it cool and shit. He could have not made no situation in this situation. And you say risk your money doing it on national TV. For somebody that didn't have any clout, yeah, you might have been risking your money. But for a guy like Will Smith, you seen how much clout he had. He had enough clout to go up there and slap him and still accept the award that same night. So, not only is it going to be controversial, but it's also going to end up being, I think, beneficial for him down the line. Because, like I said, one thing you talk about, and this is one thing I think people, hey, you can love me, you can hate me, scruff. I ain't really Will Smith, but like polarization is way more powerful than love. Like, you can love somebody, but if you're polarizing, that means you love them, you hate them, whatever. That means either way you're consuming it. So I bet you, when they drop their little red table talk on whatever happened in this situation, we're all gonna be watching. Tell me you're not.
I don't watch, bro. I don't watch red table.
Lie.
I already told you. I think Will and Jada are some of the biggest lies you're gonna see. They tell a bunch of half truths. They spend their life to generate clicks and views. Like, I'm not a fan of their little scheme to be relevant. Because think about this, Jada wasn't getting no roles for a while. Will was in a bunch of terrible movies for a long time. Even his white fans wasn't coming out to see his work. You know what I'm saying? He was shooting like nobody liked After Earth and things like that. Like, he was in some really bad movies. I think after Wild Wild West, I think his white audience
was the only movie they made that was trash, bro.
Nah, don't.
Wasn't he the genie for
Hancock trash.
Bro,
Will Smith.
Hancock was not trash, bro.
Will,
Look at the box office numbers.
box office numbers just means they put a lot of money. People went out to see it. The movie's trash. Rewatch Hancock.
Is that not how we define success?
Aladdin? Was Aladdin any good?
Super good.
I didn't see it.
No, I didn't see it.
But no, Will Smith's kind of regained some of that as of late, right? He rebranded himself on Instagram, clout chasing. You know what I'm saying? Jumping off of planes and doing all sorts of random clout chasing things. So, you know what I'm saying? And it was a great rebrand. And here we are now. So I think this definitely doesn't hurt his career, but I think it's still kind of lame. You can do the right thing and it be lame. You know what I'm saying? You could have a justified action and it still be lame. And I thought that's what it was.
All right, fair enough.
My man is the new Takashi. You heard? He's the new 6ix9ine.
Stop it.
Literally, that's who he is, bro. My man looking foolish. He didn't have to do that, like I said, man.
Nah, my man turned into WAG 100, man. We got to swallow. We got to get down.
Like, when the fuck did Will Smith is a savage all of a sudden? The war is gonna end soon. We're knocking on the door of World War III.
Hey, but that was my problem. Like, I don't like when guys are savage with guys that they know are not savage.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I think it's one of the lamest things in the world. I've seen it throughout my childhood, man.
Nah, here's the truth, though. I'm gonna go back to the original question, which was, who's the bigger L for, Chris Rock or Will Smith?
I said, Will.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Y'all already answered, so there are no L's here, bro. There are no L's, bro. There are no L's. There are no L's here, bro. Because the truth is, Chris Rock is a stand-up comedian. He's gonna have a whole bunch of new material to talk about. He's gonna be able to go on stage for he'll have a whole Netflix special. All he needs is the one-liner of that. Yeah, Will Smith smacked the shit out of me. He get a couple laughs off that shit. He back. When the last time Chris Rock had a good stand-up? Oh, wait. All right. Will Smith, same thing. It's going to benefit him. When they drop their red table talk, it's going to benefit him. Even though people are going to be polarized or be upset, they're going to be whatever, Will Smith has gained enough hearts that they're going to be able to overlook this one shortcoming, and they're going to be able to overlook it, and they're going to be okay. People are going to watch Will Smith again. I'm just saying.
If he keeps down this road of this performative, clout chasing behavior, people will turn on him. But for right now, they're going to tune in to toxic drama, and that's what Will and Jada ooze.
I'm not tuning out. Honestly, Will Smith's book was a great book. So
I didn't read that, and I didn't watch King Richard, so I don't know.
I am going to watch.
King Richard's a great movie. King Richard's a great movie. It is a great movie. Regardless of what you feel about Will Smith and this whole situation, he embodied the role. King Richard, the dude Richard Williams was very, very, very controversial. The way he handled a lot of this shit with his girls, it was very controversial. Honestly, if you watch the movie and you watch the whole role, like if I was one of the coaches that was coaching Serena and Venus Williams, I would have slapped the shit out of this man. So the fact that Will Smith slapped somebody at the same night just really is confirmation of how good of a role he did. Because like when I was about to play Richard, I wanted to slap the shit out of her. Seriously. Because like I was like, bro, are you serious, bro? Are you serious right now? Like you almost look like an asshole. Like Richard Williams, yes, he was a protective dad. Yes, he ended up working out well for them. But he was like self-sabotaging. He walked the lines of self-sabotaging parent very, 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 very closely. I would recommend everybody to watch it.
I haven't seen it yet, but I do know a little bit about sports parents, and
you're one yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And I coach, so I know a little bit about sports parents. So I'm anxious to see it, and I also know a little bit about having to navigate, a white culture, as a Black person. So I do want to see the movie, but the topic ain't even, the movie. People just want to talk about Will smacking Chris. Like, it's crazy. King Richard himself was upset.
Well, I mean, I can see that because it was supposed to be a moment for the whole night. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I also feel like Chris Rock could have spared him, but it's whatever.
Did you guys know Samuel L. Jackson won an Oscar that night?
Yeah, it was his first one.
Yeah, like, come on.
Very, very, very overlooked news.
That was my point, bro. A hero like Samuel L., man, You don't even know because, hey man, all we know is the slap heard around the world. Suns host slap anyone. What?
Oh God, he got slapped by Will. My man don't even know what the fuck he just wrote. Oh my God.
Arizona Cardinals. This is obviously somebody from the great state of Arizona. Suns might slap somebody in the finals if they get there. If Chris
Smoking
Paul can
that.
stay healthy. If Chris Paul
Smoking
can stay
that
healthy,
airy. You're smoking that airy. That's what you're doing.
they won't slap some of those teams in the East, but they have enough firepower to get through the West.
All right, man. Last but not least, man, I'm one of the only few logical people left here tonight, man. My boy Bryce not on tonight. My guy Rome is not logical, so it's basically breaks even. So we got
Hold
one lot.
on, you're logical.
You're logical.
When it comes to this next topic, I am.
All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Go ahead.
So we had the NFL overtime rule, man.
Oh,
Oh my God.
We had a big conversation about this, and then a couple weeks ago, man, NFL overtime rule, man. So we were talking about the overtime rule, and we were talking about the stats, and we were talking about how, man, basically everybody wins the coin toss, ends up winning the whole game. He said it wasn't fair that both teams don't get a chance to possess the ball. T and Rome said it was just like, hey, man, these teams got to just ball up and play defense, right? You know what I'm saying? But, every rule in the game is really just, portrayed for offense. So now the NFL to change their overtime rule after the whole Bills situation where they basically were going tit for tat with the Chiefs, and the Chiefs scored in the first possession, and it was the end of the game. Chiefs ended up winning the game. Bills never got a chance to get back on the field. So with that NFL overtime rule, the new rule allows both teams to possess the ball. So now both teams can possess the ball. First team to score does not win right off the bat. Basically, both teams get a chance to possess the ball. And then at that point, next scorer will win. What do y'all think about the new overtime rules, man? Geraldo, I'm going to start with you.
Is similar to the college overtime rule, if I'm not mistaken, right? Is
Correct.
both teams get to score, and then I guess it's okay because now both teams get the possession, and then the third and final possession, if no one scores, if everybody scores after the first two possessions, the third and final one will be straight defense. So it breaks down to the same shit basically. Right? It's basically the same shit. Just win the flip of the coin and make sure your defense holds it the fuck together. That's what we're basically watching, right?
yeah.
More or less.
If you win the coin toss and both people don't score, both people do score, you get the ball back and a chance to win, which people are going to say isn't fair eventually.
What do you mean? How is that not fair?
They're going to say you had two chances and I only had one. The same thing you're saying now.
Yeah.
Wait. Run that back? What?
They're going to say, right? Let's say I win the toss. I score. You score. I get the ball back. I score. Game over. You're going to say, well, I didn't get a second chance because if I did, I would have scored two. It's the same. Point. It's the same issue. You know what I'm saying?
So I think they should make it just like the college. Again, they fucked us over again.
College.
I thought it was fair until you said that, T. So basically, it's not the same as college because college would have said if, for example, the Chiefs score, the Bills score, the Chiefs get the ball again, they score, the Bills will get the ball again, and they would be able to score.
That's why you see 6-7 OTs.
If they didn't score, then it would be an L.
Right.
But with the new overtime rule, if the Chiefs score, Bills score, Chiefs score again, the Chiefs score.
What they should have did, right? The overtime rule should have went like this. You get another whole 5 minutes to play for overtime. Team who scores that game, those 5 minutes wins. Whoever has the better score.
That's an interesting strategy, but then again, you could kind of milk your 5 minutes.
Well, then who's defense?
Don't make it 5 minutes, man. Take the average time of possession, right, and double it, and
5 minutes.
Let's go.
It's literally 5 minutes.
At the end of the day, right? This reeks of me and Scruff both want to drive or both want to ride shotgun, and I say, all right, paper rock scissors. He says okay, and then I win, and he says, No. Best 2 out of 3. Like, come on, man. Like, we got to keep playing until the favorite wins. Like, this is the Josh Allen rule, man. People wanted to see more Josh Allen. They didn't like the fact that Josh Allen lost and he didn't get a chance to throw the ball again. But he had 4 quarters to throw the ball. That's my take. But it is the rule, and it's only for the playoffs, if I understand it correct. So I'm not too mad at that.
I'm not for it. If this is in a playoff, it's okay then. But this is like a regular season shit. I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to watch the same shit again. I'm like, yo.
Man, I hate the NFL, bro. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I hate the NFL. No, I'm serious. Like, I hate the NFL, bro, because like, I low-key thought it was a fair rule, and then he just explained to me that it wasn't a fair rule. Like, it's not a fair rule because, like, bro, it's still a cheat code. So, like, yo, all right. So, like, the first two, all you gotta do, all the NFL want to do is get to a point where they can control the outcome of the game, bro. Because, like, it's really what it comes down to, bro. Because if the Chiefs, all right, for example, if it's Chiefs score, Bills score, then they can start controlling the game after that. Then if the Chiefs get the ball back, all they gotta do is make sure it gets even again, and then they can decide who wants to score the game. You know what I'm saying? Well, okay, they can try to control the penalties and make that shit go. You know what I mean? Let the Chiefs score again, get a field goal, and then they go, finesse the game until they can make it however they want to make it. I don't know, man. It just bothers me, bro.
Think about it like this, bro. The reality is, in regular season, they want the game to be over as fast as possible. You know what I'm saying? They're getting paid for whatever that little time slot is. Let's shoot it. Let's play. Let's get it over with. And playoffs, they're just trying to appease people. And again, I think this is an offense-leaning rule, which is, it's fun for the fans, right? You get to see Josh Allen throw the ball again. Let's face it, as exciting as Aaron Donald is, and some of these elite defenders, you don't buy your ticket to watch Aaron Donald. You don't buy your ticket to watch Derwin James. You're not buying a ticket to watch Michael Parsons. You're coming to see people, Tyreek Hill. You're coming to see Aaron Rodgers. So I get it. I just think in the spirit of competitiveness, it's kind of it's like the win by 2 in basketball rule. Like, we can't just play to 11 or 16. We got to win by 2. Like, let's play some defense, fellas. Like, let's not make defense obsolete.
Defense has been obsolete for a while, bro.
How about they make my rule? Kickoff, you have to kick it on the field. You can't kick it out the back of the end zone. And whoever returns it the farthest wins. And
no.
That's stupid. That's literally stupid.
No, look, special teams is often overlooked, and it would lead to some of the most amazing plays you've ever seen. Like, you would have to design a kick return play. And
Devin Hester would wish he was born around this era, because Devin Hester would be the fucking GOAT.
The Mac Jones 3 passes game.
The Mac Jones 3 passes game was iconic, though.
Yeah, that was. My man, they said, yo, we're just going to run the ball. Have fun.
That's football, man. That's real life, man. People play Madden like that, too. Like, strategy, man. And the beauty of football is that it's a chess match, right? It's more of a chess match than the rest of the sports. And I think you kind of corrupt that a little bit by just saying, all right, well, go again. But, whatever. We'll get used to it. We're fans.
Honestly, I feel like the only proper way to end, I don't think the NFL wanted to end the argument. I think they wanted to keep it going long enough for them to solve it again. You know what I mean? Like, that's why they chose what they chose, bro, because, like, otherwise they would have just kept it going. Like, all right, look, if the first team scores, the second team scores, then you go again until one of the teams doesn't score. Like, and it should always be, like, match. You know what I mean? Like, all right, one team gets a shot, the other team gets a shot. And they can't do the time limit thing because then somebody could just milk the clock the whole time. So, like, that's the only fair way to do it, bro. And, like, the fact that they didn't do it on this chance really proves to me that they're, like, waiting to fix another series, and then they'll change it later.
I think a lot of more teams are going to go for 2-point conversions, though.
What if they do it like the NBA and say,
that makes it interesting.
Set a point score for like something like first team to 9?
Nah.
What's wrong with that? Because now you guaranteed you got it. You cannot get to 9 without 2 possessions.
Bruh, that's an all-star game, bro. This is a real fucking playoff game we're talking about here, bro.
But the all-star game, that made the all-star game much more competitive than it had ever been.
Bro, you imagine a team losing on some shit like that, bro? Some made up shit.
What do you mean? Everything is made up. Like, what do you mean?
Well, that's unacceptable, bro. Nah, bro.
That
That's
nigga
super.
said what?
That's super
No.
made up, bro. What?
What do
First and
you
10?
mean?
First and 10? What?
First to 9.
No.
No, that's an amazing idea. I
That's a
think I just
dumbass idea, bro.
all right. That's what they told Thomas Edison. All right.
Whatever.
That's what they told Elon Musk. An electric car. You're not gonna put gas in it.
I'm not about to have you here spin the narrative like you some innovator. Well, you all know that when me and Bryce was in here 3, 4, 5 weeks ago talking about these great ideas, y'all was shooting us down. Y'all said we were foolishness. Now y'all say, yeah, it's a good compromise. Rome not even here because he already knows.
You just said you was gonna be the level-headed one at all this. Now you sound foolish as hell.
That's level-headed, man. We was been saying that the only fair way is for everybody to get a fair shot, bro. That's level-headed from the beginning.
You and Bryce did make the point that both offenses
Should possess the ball.
Should possess the ball, and that there's no other sport where the overtime rule, both offenses don't get a shot. And to that I said I don't care. Like that's what made it unique. That's what made it special. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to get a stop. You know what I'm saying? And I think if you ever played football, like you put some pads on, I haven't. So I think there's some value to going out there and getting a stop.
I think there's some value to it in the sense that like it's a very much a very antiquated way to summarize America as a whole. Like because you don't really have a shot. You think you got a shot, but you don't really got a shot, and that's what the previous overtime rule is. It's like, okay, like yeah, go get a stop, like
Yeah.
That's like like you're disadvantaged, like you're like expecting somebody to get a shot, like nah, it's not a fair shot. It's not the same shot. It's not the same shot that I don't know, trust fund babies got. It's like asking somebody from the hood to get the same shot as a trust fund baby.
All right, so with your new overtime rules, right? What if I score and kick an onside kick and get it back and the game's over? That's fair?
Yeah, but nobody would ever do that.
No.
Well, how about if I score, then I do 2-point conversion? Then what?
You can do that.
That's what they're suggesting. That would be a win.
But let's say I scored the 7 points, then I'm the second offense, and I do a 2-point conversion.
Hold
then
up.
what?
It's still not all the way fair, but it's fairer.
If you get the 2, the game's over.
Yeah.
That's what they have. That's what the current rule is.
So technically,
the second offense gets to win the game.
Technically, because it's the first team to 8.
No. So if the first offensive position scores those 8 points, now the second offense gets to score those 8 points as well. But they have to score those 8 points. But let's say you're the first offense and you scored only 7, and then you're the second offense. You say, "Fuck, I'm gonna do the 2-point conversion."
You go for 2 to finish the game.
Yes.
All right. I mean, I'm not against. Like, it's not terrible. I just think it's more of the same. That's why it's not. I'm not too mad at it. It's almost like you just created a half an inning.
I don't know, man. It's still I feel like it's making this way more complicated than it need to be.
I mean, either way, man, you and Bryce called it. You know what I'm saying? So here we are, ruining the league.
Ruining the league.
Be proud of yourself.
We're ruining the league. Okay.
Yeah, y'all suck.
Oh, okay.
Y'all fucked this shit up. I knew you Rutgers grads would just fuck shit up.
This is the Scarlet Knight rule.
Exactly.
Man. Forward thinkers, man. Forward thinkers, man. Forward thinkers. Now I know I will start slapping folks.
And I'm not Chris Rock. I'm gonna start suing folks.
No.
Slap me if you rich. I'm suing the shit out of you.
Chris Rock might be the first person to get slapped over stage 1 alopecia. Like I've never heard like of all the reasons to get slapped, man. Like that's a tough one.
Life is tough, man. Life is tough, man. Life is tough, man. Life is real. Life is tough, man. So ain't no fair shakes out here, man. NFL overtime rule, man. Basically, fuck everything that you believe in. Like, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. Whatever the NFL decides, that's who's gonna win. That's what I take from it. Fair? No, not fair.
It's fair, man. NFL is gonna be the NFL.
NFL, man, back at it again with the overtime rules, man. More manipulation for your head cats. You know what I'm saying? But yo, it's been a good episode, man. I think we covered all topics, man. We didn't really talk about the NBA yet.
You got time.
So we got a little bit more time. We're gonna do one last closer. Uh, I'm gonna skip the Western Conference because I don't even care about the Western Conference right now. To me, they're the inferior conference. We'll talk about that later though. So the Eastern Conference right now, I believe, is a superior conference. So right now we got an Eastern Conference waste. That's very interesting. The Bucks played the Sixers today. The Bucks beat them by 2 points on a call that was reversed at the end of regulation.
But they beat them.
Very close match. Yeah, the Bucks beat the Sixers today. I gotta pull up the standings. The Celtics were number one yesterday. Honestly, it's probably something totally different right now. The Bucks might be number one now, but Celtics, Bucks, Sixers, all within 2 games of first place, as well as the Heat. 4 seeds right now, all within the mix. So I say the Bucks, the Sixers, the Heat, Bucks, Sixers, Heat, Celtics, and the Nets. 5 teams right now, all in the mix within the Eastern Conference. What team do you feel like is the team to beat in the Eastern Conference? Actually, not say team to beat. What team do you think is going to actually come out of the Eastern Conference? Out of all those teams I listed, man, it's crazy, crazy, crazy finish for the East. I mean championship. Like who's going to be representing them in the finals? Go ahead.
If it's not the Milwaukee Bucks, which is what I think it's gonna end up like being because the chemistry on that team and they're just coasting. For me, the team that I was disappointed early in the season and now it's just literally just got me reneging on the things I said about them like 2 months ago, the Boston Celtics. Look at those boys, man. I think it's either between the Milwaukee Bucks or the Celtics. Let's not forget, 3 years ago, these guys went to the Eastern Conference Finals. So those are my 2 teams to look out for coming out the East. I want to say the 76ers, but it's just like, James Harden's been on and off. So it's like, it's not someone I'm trusting right now.
All right, T, what you think, man? Who's the best team in the East?
I think the best team. I don't know, man. Like the East kind of reminds me of the NCAA tournament where like it's just a lot of really good teams. It's a lot of parity. I think the Bucks are probably the team to beat. I mean, you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. But who gets hot in the playoffs? That's kind of how this thing's going to go. And because the NBA is really about superstars, whose superstars are going to get hot? So I mean, if Harden and Embiid get cooking, they could go. If Giannis, Middleton, and Drew go on a run like that, it's crazy. It's going to be a lot of good basketball in the East. This is going to be. I know we talked about last year where it's like one of the best playoffs. I think we might be in position to see another really good playoff. A lot of good matchups. But
wait, how is the play-in tournament? Is the first is
it's 9? Is it? Was it?
It's not 10. It's 9.
I think it's 1 through 7 is in, and then 8 through 10 got to play, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Like 9 and 10 got to play 8 or something to get in, something like that. Oh.
Ooh, hey, he ran away. Fuck it.
Hey,
Let's talk bad about the 76ers.
I am the captain now.
Yes, sir.
7,
shit, he's back.
7 through 10 is in the play-in tournament, by the way. 7 through 10 is in the play-in tournament.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Whoever, put it like this, no one really wants to play the Nets. I think no one really wants to play Milwaukee. And I think people probably don't want to play the Celtics. I think if you want to play anybody in the East, it's probably, and Scruff, you're going to hate it, but it's probably the 76ers. That's the only team that I feel like hasn't found their chemistry. They haven't hit their stride. But it's dangerous because if they do hit their stride in the playoffs, things could, they could turn into that buzzsaw, kind of like UNC. So I don't know. I'm a Bucks fan. I think Giannis is battle tested. I think that whole team has played this entire season for this moment. So I'm gonna go Bucks.
All right, G.
Like I said, I got, if it's not the Bucks, right? Because that's gonna be the obvious pick. Because the Nets, I don't even think they're getting past the second round. So I'm gonna go between the Bucks and the Boston. Boston being the team that just came out of nowhere and just like fuck, playing great defense. This is something you guys wanted out of Ben Simmons and Embiid, man. You're getting out of Brown and Jason, man. Both of those guys are just playing something. At one point, we thought that duo wouldn't work. To now that duo meshing together and just like, yo, I'm liking Boston a lot right now.
All
Hey,
right, so go ahead, T.
when I told y'all Jason Tatum remind me of Kobe, you guys called me crazy. And now my man is giving you everything offensively, man. He's elevated the team. He's a dog. Boston is a tough team.
Yeah, Boston is a tough team. I'll tell you
And
that
they're
there's a
beatable.
lot of teams in the East, and they are beatable. Thank you for that. So I will speak on the East right now, man. Right now, the Heat are number one. And honestly, the standings are not going to determine who is going to. The standings aren't going to determine who's going to win the East. More so, the standings and the matchups will determine who will win the East. So ultimately, I can't even speak on who's going to win the East because it's ultimately going to come down to the standings because of the Nets. The Nets are the ultimate wild card, in my opinion, because the Nets are at the eighth seed right now, and they're 2.5 games back from seven. So even if they win, basically, even if they win it, they could still win the play-in tournament and end up with the seventh seed. In which case they will play the Bucks. Biggest thing is who is the Nets going to play. So like if the Nets play the Bucks in the first round, they could end up losing in the first round. But if they play the Celtics in the first round, I don't know.
No, don't. The Celtics have their number. Let's not get this misconstrued. The Celtics have the Nets number, so I don't think the Boston Celtics are scared of the Nets.
Well, I just think that there's totally different numbers come playoff time, Geraldo.
I don't know, man. It's like what my man just said. Jason Tatum isn't playing fucking nutty buddy like he Kobe. He's the reimbursement of the light skinned Kobe.
Okay, he's the reimbursement of the light skinned Kobe. How many championships he got?
Oh, come on now. Let's not even bring that shit. How much championship
So you
Embiid
telling
got?
me?
How
So you
many
telling me?
championship
We're not
James
talking
Harden
about.
got?
We're not talking about him and Embiid. I'm talking about if the Nets end up playing the Celtics in the first round of the playoffs, bro. You're gonna say that the Celtics got a 100% chance to beat the Nets? I'm gonna say
Yes. I got I, I
I
got I got the Celtics in six just because of KD. If it's not KD there, I got the Celtics in fucking four.
I
how
think
about this? If
that's
the
probably
Celtics,
the
whoever
Celtics
play the
probably the
Nets,
worst matchup. That's probably the worst matchup for the Nets.
right now, if the Nets, right now, if the Nets play, if the net, right now, if the way the standings hold, they'll play the Heat in the first round, and I don't like that matchup for the Heat. If they end up winning, if the Bucks right now are second seed, but the Celtics could easily end up being the third seed. My thing is this: if the Sixers stay at the fourth seed, they're going to end up coming out in a real powerful spot come the East because that means they're going to play the Bulls in the first round, and
That's who everybody wants to play in the first round.
that's a dub. That's a dub. That's the winning spot to be
They
at.
could sweep the Bulls. I mean, that's who everybody wants to play. No
Exactly.
Lonzo. They can't beat good teams. The
You
Bulls
don't
are
want
probably the softest spot.
exactly.
Yes.
You don't want the one seed. You want the four seed. You don't want the one seed. You would rather be the four seed playing the Bulls than playing the Nets at the eight seed. Straight up.
Now that's true. I'm not gonna argue with that.
So ultimately, whoever's going to play the net, I mean, whoever's going to play the Nets in the first seed is going to end up drawing the short straw. So this is a very interesting race because
It depends on who you talking about.
whoever
I
ends
mean,
up with the
I'm
one
curious
seed
to
is going to
see
get
does
unfavorable.
Harden get further than the team he left.
The thing is, if he had to play them in the first round, that would be very problematic. That's the last thing the Sixers want is to play the Nets. So it's like it's saying if the Nets play the Heat in the first round, I think that could be an upset. I think if they play the Celtics in the first round, I think that could be an upset. The only team I don't think they're going to upset in the first round is the Bucks. And also, if the Sixers play the Nets in the first round, it's a little bit more of a long shot. But if they did play the first round, I wouldn't like that matchup at all. That's the
Yeah,
last matchup I want if I was a
you
76.
you you wouldn't want to see Tobias Harris on KD.
Fuck no. Fuck no. So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot to be determined right now with the way that these seasons
Look, this
are breaking
we've been
down.
getting some good basketball lately, man, and I can't get enough of it.
Yeah, nah, it's great basketball right now. You really can't go wrong with it. Speaking of great basketball, man, shout out to the NCAA women's tournament. I don't know if anybody watched the game last night between North Carolina State and UConn. That was a
UConn,
great game.
Classic.
Great game. Shout out to UConn. Shout out to NC State.
Page
Shout out,
buckets.
shout out all the young ballers in that game. You know what I'm saying? Paige Bukers, Izzy
Backers.
Fudd, whatever, man. Buckets, Paige Buckets,
Page buckets.
Dharma Johnson, a lot of ballers in that game, man. So shout out to the women's game. You know, still putting on great things, putting on a great show. So make sure you watch the women's hoops as this storm prolongs. But yeah, man, it's gonna be very interesting to see how things shape out down the east. You know, obviously, yeah, you know, and Nets versus Sixers is the most toxic environment in NBA history. I mean, you know, it's funny about we talk about the James Harden trade, and you know, Ben Simmons has still not made any appearances for the Brooklyn Nets. So, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, honestly, the one thing we know for sure is like if the Sixers did play the Nets in the first round, we know for sure that Ben Simmons would not be coming back for that series. So at least that's the one thing we got working in our favor. But nah, it's very interesting, man. We'll see what happens, man, with down the stretch. We got 8 games or 9 games or so for most of these NBA teams. We'll see how this one shakes out, man. Ultimately, the playoff seeding is going to determine how this Eastern Conference will play out. Either way, we know one thing for sure: the Eastern Conference playoffs are going to be very much must-see TV. So
Absolutely.
we're gonna be keeping our eyes peeled for sure. Between Eastern Conference playoffs, man, the Final Four, and all the greatness that's been going on, man, we are blessed, man. We're blessed, man. Guys present sports for the culture, man. We out here every Tuesday, 9:30, 45-ish. We out here on a regular. Shout out to all the loyal listeners, man. Appreciate y'all, man. If you're not already subscribed to us on YouTube, if you're watching us right now, hit that subscribe button, man. We trying to get our subscribers up. Anybody subscribe enters is automatically entered to the PS5 giveaway. So make sure you go ahead and enter yourself into the PS5 giveaway. All you gotta do is
and my nude calendar, well, the gas nude calendar coming soon for all y'all single mothers.
guys calendar coming soon, man.
Nude cast calendar. We're gonna have Rome T,
Oh my
Bryce.
goodness.
We're gonna have the whole staff for all kinds of for males and females.
Whoa.
Hey, listen, man, we don't discriminate in gas, baby.
Extra money for the nude if you want that.
Oh my goodness.
Let me know if you want the nude calendar.
I gotta talk to my agent.
Hey, listen, if ESPN nude can happen, gas nude can happen.
That's a little different, but yeah, I feel it.
Hey, Rome, we're gonna have to talk to HR about you and your sick days, man. What's going on here, man?
Nah,
My man got more sick days than I do.
That's a no call no show from Rome, actually.
Oh shit!
Y'all violate my man.
That's a no call no show. You know what I mean?
Y'all not even concerned about his safety. He could have got slapped at work, man.
Oh shit! Yo, let me know, dog. I'll go down there. I ain't Chris. We ride on them.
Hey man,
backstage. Pause. Backstage. See, off camera.
That shit sound crazy.
Ride on them off camera, backstage.
Pause. Hold on, pause.
All right, man. You know how we do it, man. You guys present sports for the culture, man. We close out the only way we know how to, man.
Después de para